Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin wassalatu wassalam wala ashrafil wa musalin wala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, good evening or good afternoon, what are you? Or siestaing? So Alhamdulillah, I'm glad that today I accepted the invitation from representing all of you is Dato' Atika Adom, my ardent supporter in Ampang, my voter in Ampang. So because of her invitation, that's why I come to this occasion to celebrate with all of you. And apart from that, of course, the title itself, when it says women and girls, has been my passionate subject, where I would like to see more women and girls to be empowered and to take part very actively in nation building. So congratulations, you girls, for being here to participate in this program. I understand it's the first time they are doing it, but it's not the first time as in the first time, but because of the topic subject that they are taking up from the SDGs, so they chose the girls section, so therefore they do this conference this year. So I was asking them, are you going to do it again next year? So they got no choice, they got to answer me yes. Congratulations to Dr. Muhammad Rapi, the Director of International Youth Center Kuala Lumpur, for being part of this organizing committee for this event. And of course, Mr. Muhammad Nazrul Azizi, the President of Social Community Programs Urban Societies, Corpus. Mr. Amiruddin bin Abdul Shukur, the Acting CEO for Malaysian Global Innovation and Creative Center, MAGIC. So I was asking him, do you still have the MAGIC? So we make sure that we have the MAGIC, especially with the new government. Yeah? And of course, you girls, that is coming from, I think, some kind of NGOs, some kind of schools, organizations, clubs, and so on and so forth. Together with me today is that because since it's a Girls Inside event, I also have one group of girls which is connected to the Women Political Leaders Summit International, which is, we call the Malaysian chapter is Girls to Leader. Where are you? Girls to Leader? Where are my girls? Are you here? They're not here? Sarah, are you here? I thought they were here just now. Hajah, where are they? Good, so they're not here. Oh, they must be somewhere. I thought Sarah is here. Because I would like to introduce Sarah as one of the, I think some of you are coming from Sri Putri, right? Do you know Sarah? Yeah, so Sarah has been one of my member for Girl to Leader. It's an international organization they are linked to. And she's a champion debater. When I hear about Safira, where's Safira? Are you around? Yeah, congratulations, Shabas, Tanya, for your very inspiring story. I heard about that. And I have one little girl, which is Sarah also in her, and she's a very eloquent debater. She won the debate in Malaysia as one of the champion debater. And indeed, she's a very matured person, and she has very forward thinking and very inspirational to the young people. And she just wrote a book, and I just launched it yesterday for her, and at the Malaysian International Book Show, in PWTC. So Alhamdulillah, what I was thinking that probably we can connect Girl to Leader to this organization of yours, so that it add one more members, so that it can be a better organization, inshallah. Yeah. So as far as you girls are concerned, this is something that I would like to congratulate the guys. Your organizing community, the main person are the guys. Yeah, I think there's one lady behind Nazrul. What's her name again just now? Mazid? Nurul, yeah? So another Nurul there. So she's part of the organization, yeah? When I see them there, so they are the most sensitive men. Women are gender sensitive. So it takes a man to be gender sensitive before they want to take up programs for the women. Yeah. If they are not gender sensitive, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. So thank you very much for your concern, yeah? So the one of the things that's important for us to make sure that women participate in the country's economy, in the country's social development, in the country's political development as well, It's very important because we see that there are many women or girls in university. 60% of girls are in the university, and they graduated in various fields. Yeah? But at the end of the day, when they go into the working market, they are not there because they have to attend to some other matters like looking after the families, the children, and when they get married. You know? So this is something that the country has to look into, where we have to develop a supporting system, yeah? A support system where you will be comfortable to contribute to the country in your area of expertise. At the same time, you are relieved, you are at peace of mind to leave your children in the hands of the helpers. So where do we go? So we did recommend to the Ministry of Women then, when I was the opposition, of course, we make a lot of noise. So when we're in the government, it's not that easy to implement. So we tell that we have to have a lot of support programs so that our girls are willing to go out to contribute, yeah, because we do not, so that the country do not lose its investment. Yeah? So to send you to school, to send to universities, is a lot of investment for the country. Then after that, at the end of the day, you stay at home. Rugi. Yeah? So, but in Harvard research findings, in the United Nations research findings, in UNESCO, in the Women WPL and all those, when you employ more women, the productivity of the organization will increase up to 60%. See? So it is proven that those organizations with more women, you know, in these companies or association and so on and so forth, the productivity is higher. And in Malaysia itself, if we say that more women come into the economic sector, we could increase the KDNK by about 6%. It's a lot, 6%. Yeah? So therefore, for us to be able to do that, what do we need to do? We have to have more women in the decision-making process, in the decision-making position. Then you can only incorporate the women there. I came from a political party. Yeah? To be a minister, I have to belong to a party. So my party also I have a youth wing, we call Sri Kandi. So these are the youth, the young people where we recruit, we want to train them, want to develop them to become future leaders. As far as I'm concerned, when I see young people, I see hope in the country. I see the future of the country. Because without you young people, who's going to continue our work? Who's going to carry on, you know, fighting for the country? Who's going to carry on to make sure that the country perform and progress, you know, accordingly? So when I see young people, I always tell them, especially the girls, yeah, do not disallow your potential to be tapped. So, there are lots of potential in women out there, but it's just that the women don't sell themselves like the men. The men, they do less, but they talk a lot. Sorry, yeah, for those sensitive guys, gender-sensitive guys. No, I'm just telling you a story because just to make you understand how does the guy sell themselves. Okay? But the women do a lot of work, but they don't know how to sell themselves. Because you are young, coming from my background, coming from Datuk Atika, and also Nurul, I think she would understand that also. So when a man look after the baby at home, okay, you're married, the three of you? Okay. So dia jaga anak malam, tak tidur because anak tak well, dia tolong wife dia jaga anak, susukan anak, pakai botol lah, okay? The next morning he goes to work, he will say that, you know, last night I look after my baby is not well. Okay? But that's a woman's job. But they take credit in doing the woman's job, just by that one night. But the women do a lot of work, but they don't take credit for themselves. That's the difference between men and women. So therefore, being in the political arena, I understand that the women need some motivation, need some pushing to push themselves there. So we as the older generation, we pave the way for you, so that it's easier route for you. So that there's a faster track for you to come and contribute to the country. So as a political leader, when I take up in this position as Menteri Perumahan dan Kajian Tempatan, which is really women's position, yeah, in the country for the first time, in the country, the Minister for Housing and Local Government is being helped by a woman. Okay, this is for the first time. So what do? Up I'm in a position where I can make policies. I'm in a position where I can make appointments. I'm in a position where I can attract more women. Yeah? So therefore, I make sure that the 30% women participation is being implemented in my ministry. This is what we call gender mainstreaming. So 30%, we appoint councillors throughout the country in the local government. So therefore, I impose, you have to appoint at least 30% women as councillors in your PBT before you can get any allocation from me. That's the affirmative action. Because otherwise they will not do it, because they don't want to take the trouble to look for that one woman. I always tell them that, you know, if you are a women minister or you're a women leader, you must take the time to look for the women out there. I'm sure if you take the trouble to look for one, you will find one. Even though it's so difficult, it's like finding a needle in the haystack. There is women out there, but it's just they're not showing off themselves, and therefore you have to go and reach out to them. So these are the kind of things that we can do when you are in mainstream position. So mainstream position where you are in control, you can. So much so that if there's any vacant position in my ministry, I'll give priority to the women first. I said, your division, do you have enough women? Do you have 30%? No. If you don't have 30%, any new employee, any new recruits, please get a woman. Unless you can find by qualification. But when I say women or girls, whatever, it doesn't mean that we are second class and then we are not qualified, we put you there. No, you are just as good, as just competitive, as just qualified as those guys. Yeah? So this is what we should be doing to promote more women. So when a country have more women involved in economy, involved in the social structure, involved in the political structure, then you can say that the country is matured and progressive. Otherwise, it's not a reflection of the country. Especially in Malaysia, when kita nak kata kita nak jadi negara maju in 2020, when women still below the level of 30%, we are not going to reflect ourselves as a progressive nation because our women are still not to the mark to be part of the nation building in all aspects. So after 61 years independence, political representation is very low. So it's about never go more than 10%. But alhamdulillah, when PH took over the government, we have 13%. And that is not by design, that's by default. Meaning that these women just go there and take part in the election, they win by chance. So we got the numbers there, we have more women participating, then lepas tu, we get more women. But we want it by design. By design meaning what? Meaning that we have to have policies where the election system has to have a mixed representative, proportionate representative candidates, where certain seats are allocated for women. 30% of the 220 parliamentary seats, 30% should be allocated for women. Only women can contest in that seat. Barulah kita boleh dapat 30%. If not, we can't get that 30%. I'm telling you, there's no way until another 10 years, 20 years, we might not achieve that. So that is from the political aspect of it. So these are the things that we're going to do so that we want to pave the way for you girls. You know, when you reach your maturity age, when you want to get involved in politics or get involved with any organization or holding high position in companies, in jabatan kerajaan. So this is the policies that we have to do in order to put you in that place. So when you are there, because the perspective of the women's thinking and the men's thinking is different. I'm talking about my housing policy. If I get a man architect, so buat rumah, so what they do? So they will think about design. How nice I want to put this structure, all the best of the art architect. But it's not practical for the women. Dia nak buat floor tu, dia zigzag, konon cantik. But orang perempuan kata, I don't want zigzag, because zigzag got all the abuk-abuk selit-selit dekat situ, susah nak kemas. Betul? They go to the kitchen, they buat cabinet. The guys are 6 feet tall. They make cabinet so high. So the women is 5 feet too. Mereka nak panjat tu kena bawa stool pula. Tiap-tiap kali nak pergi kabinet, pergi bawa stool pergi sana. You know? So these are the aspect, the perspective from the women's angle of thinking, which has to be incorporated in our development, in all aspects. That's what I say, that's what I meant by when there's women, more women is there, then it shows how progressive is the nation. Yeah? So now, KPKT also, let's say in the policies of infrastructure. Now women are more mobile. Women are more mobile, there's so many women goes out to work and so on and so forth. If you go to the public toilet, we see the size of the women's toilet is smaller than the men's toilet. So only a woman would understand to make the women's toilet bigger than the men's toilet. So I need a women architect to be there, to give that kind of input. Why the women's toilet should be more than the men? Should be bigger. Why? Because men do 2 businesses at 2 different places. Women do 2 businesses at 1 place. So the queue is always double. Faham? Then lepas tu tak cukup lagi bawa anak lagi. Kan? So these are the things that we have to consider when it comes to structure, when it comes to development, buildings. These are the things. Surau for that matter also. Surau lelaki besar pada surau perempuan. Orang perempuan pun start travelling. Start going to surau. So these are the things I think it's very important. Women has to come out. Whatever field you are in, you have to come and contribute. So these are the little perspective yang kita tak nampak. In terms of education, who's the best person to support the Ministry of Education to develop the policy? Is the mothers. Why is it the mothers? Mak yang kat rumah tengok anak pergi sekolah, angkat beg berat-berat, kesian anak aku buat beg berat. Apalah ni? So these are the feedback from the mothers. Balik anak muka tak happy. You ask them what happened to you. So they say, oh, the school have this. So it's the mothers that have a lot of feedbacks from the children. So when the women are there, so they are the one who can give this perspective from the women's angle of thinking. You're not saying that to compete with the men, but the women's angle of thinking is different from the men. So it would help to complement for us to get better, to be more complete. So coming from political background, memang it's not easy as far as women are concerned. Not only in political, in every aspect, kita kena jadi superhero. Every time when a woman is there, you have to be doubly hebat daripada the guys. So this is something that we have to also learn how to make sure that the men also contribute or help us with the work that is stereotyped for the women. Housekeeping is not the women's job, it's the men's job too. Betul? Can the men cook? Can. Can the men sweep the floor? Can the men wash the clothes? Do you wash the clothes? You guys? Okay. I always say there's only 3 things that the men cannot do. It's to conceive, to deliver, and to breastfeed. 3 saja orang lelaki tak boleh buat. The rest all they can do. Get them to participate so that it lessens your burden and you have other responsibilities to do as well. So this is what we call gender sensitization to the men. So that they understand, they come and help us with the work. So as for the rural ladies, makcik-makcik kampung, I always tell them, you must appreciate yourself because you might not be working in big organization, you might not be holding position as pengarah or pegawai or whatever, but you as a mother, as a woman, by the fact that you conceive, you deliver and breastfeed, which means that you contribute to nation building in terms of the future generation. So I always motivate them, I say, don't look at it as something that you take for granted. It's a big job that they are doing, because without them delivering new babies, there won't be any future generation. So this is the biggest contribution among the women in the country. So tell your moms, they are great mothers because they produce the future generation. They produce the future leaders. That's what makes the country keeps on going. Otherwise we will stop. We will not have. We have 0 population and that's it. We are gone. Yeah? So these are the things that when you talk about SDGs, they said no one is left behind. So this is something that this organization today is talking about, that they want to make sure that you ladies, you girls, are being always being taken to be part of the organization and the activities and so on and so forth. And furthermore, when I say that, see that women and girls in science, That attracts me most juga because not many of us is inclined towards science subjects. So I hope with this opportunity that you have to take part in this program, it will motivate you, inspire you to go even further and to make sure that all your investment, all your family investment, all the government investment is being put to good use to contribute to the overall nation building. In whatever area you're doing, whatever job you're doing, it's very important for us to have the input of the 50% of the population of the country. Almost 50% of the population are women. So they have to be counted. They have to be in, because otherwise it will be a handicap. Only 50% of the thinking is being done by one sex only. So we need the other gender to also be playing an important or active role in the overall nation building, whatever it may be, in the social aspects, in the political aspects, in economic aspects, and in education, and so on and so forth. So with that, I would like to again congratulate all of you for attending this session, and I think it's one of the most inspirational sessions that I have because it involves young people. And I congratulate the Dr. Maliki as the International Youth Council Chairman, yeah? And of course Nazri and Amiruddin for putting the show today together and to give the benefit of this conference to all you girls. Congratulations, thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.